So as we said, of the 12 imams that you believe in, only 2 of them ever had power. Only 2 of them ever had power. So in actually this evidence, which 2? So you had, okay, if you believe in Prophet, by the way, depends on if you believe Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an imam or not.
I showed you the first one.
No, hold on. If you believe that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is an imam,
first one, imam,
no problem. If you believe in that, then there's actually 13 imams anyway. So it's not that. All right. So the issue is, you've got many issues here, so you've got to deal with. Is Fatima an imam to you?
But she's a part of Ahlul Bayt.
No, is she an imam? Yeah.
But she's part of Ahlul Bayt.
Is Fatima an imam?
No.
Okay, no problem. Some scholars of the Shia say that she's an imam. If she is an imam, there's 14. If Prophet Muhammad,
14 infallible.
Hold on. Is Ibrahim an imam to you?
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Yes.
He's an imam.
In the Quran, Ibrahim is imam.
Yes. Okay. Fine. So if Ibrahim is an imam, yes.
In that time.
Hold on. Sorry. If Ibrahim is imam, and Prophet Muhammad is imam, and Al-Hasan is imam, and Al-Hussein is imam, and there is 9 from Al-Hussein, hold on, then we've got 14, excuse me, there's 14 imams, not 12. That's number 1. Number 2, your understanding of imam, of infallibility, someone that has isma, and someone that can, you're talking about Al-Kafi, according to the subheadings of Al-Kafi, the chapter titles, an imam can change the creation, can do things like that. No problem. Not correct. I'll give you the evidence. No problem.
Okay, but
number 3. Hold on.
Okay,
so let me finish. So number 1, your understanding of imam is not to be substantiated in the Quran. It's not mentioned in the Quran.
It is mentioned in the Quran.
Imam is just a person who lives and dies.
No. طيب. وجعلناهم أئمة يدعون إلى النار. So the Quran says that there are some imams which are bad. وجعلناهم أئمة يدعون إلى ماذا؟ إلى ماذا؟ إلى النار. Okay, so you have imams that is.
I'm going to let you finish.
Right, so the Quranic injunction, when the Quranic discourse uses the word imam, it uses so neutrally. So it can either mean imam, which leads to good, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً لَمَّا صَبَرُوا كَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. Surah Al-Sajdah, yeah, no problem. So you have good imams in the Quran, but you have bad imams. وَقَاتِلُوا أَئِمَّةَ الْكُفْرِ. So you have أئمة الكفر, Surah Al-What? Surah Al-Tawbah. No problem. So I'm just saying, your understanding of imam is not the same understanding as the Quranic understanding, number 1. Number 2, your number of imam is not even something which is mujma alayhi and the Shia, because you have some like the Ismailis that believe in 8 imams. You have some that believe in 9. Anyway, if we count the imams, if we count the imams that you just mentioned, you don't have 12 imams, you have 14. If Prophet Muhammad is an imam, and hold on. If Prophet Ibrahim is an imam and Prophet Muhammad is an imam, and then you have 12 other
Muhammad,
no problem. If you have Prophet Muhammad, is Prophet Muhammad an imam? Okay, Prophet Muhammad is imam. Ibrahim is imam.
No, in Quran, yes.
Hold on. Oh, no problem. So Prophet Muhammad is imam.
Quran, yes.
Yeah. So if Prophet Muhammad is an imam, you have 13 imams.
14 altogether, because Fatima is Zahra.
So you believe in 14 imams? So the 12 imams.
No, but let me answer you now.
I'll let you one chance. Go ahead.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. توكلت على الله رب العالمين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran mentions so many verses about Imam.
Bring them.
Wait, I'm going to bring them now, but but you can't cut me because I didn't cut you, okay?
From our brain.
Regarding one point you said before I get to this point, you said that imams can do things which like so supernatural. For example, the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they did supernatural things like Solomon. He used to hear the ants speaking. He used to fly on the carpet.
That's not my argument.
No, but let me finish. But
before you that's not just to be clear, my argument wasn't that they can do supernatural things. No, hold on. My argument was number 1 that they were infallibles. Number 2. No, hold on. Number 2. This is the Shia understanding of Imam, that they're infallibles, number 1. Number 2, that they're higher than all of the prophets except for Prophet Muhammad. That's number 2. Number 3, that according to the chapter headings of Al-Kafi, they can literally change creation. Okay. Number 4, that they have ilmul ghaib, which I'll bring the hadith, no problem. Number 4, that they have ilmul ghaib. I'll give you the hadith is this. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he knows everything, even the waraqah that comes from the tree and so on. He uses that and says this applies also to the...
brother, everything Ahlul Bayt knows is from Allah. And Allah knows
everything.
Do they know everything?
Did Jesus know?
Only they know what Allah
Let me finish.
No, but do they know Allah?
وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. This is Imam Ali. Okay, let me finish. Let me talk now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But get to the point. So this is the understanding.
Okay, let me talk. Jesus alayhi salam, he used to see someone, Prophet Jesus Isa, he used to say, tomorrow this guy is going to die. And the next day, that person would be dead. Jesus, he used to raise the dead with the power of Allah.
Yes, true.
People in authority and people, they get special powers from Allah.
Yeah,
we're going to come to this later.
Accepted.
Regarding, ya akhi, you see your body. How does your heart, your hands move and your eyes? How? Why? Who is making everything move in your body? Who? What is it that is making your hand and legs and your eyes move? What is it?
You're asking me a question?
Yeah, it's your heart, right? If it wasn't your, like your brain, your,
get to the
your
point.
qalb. So the imam in the ummah is just like the heart for the body.
Right,
because without the heart, the body cannot
Muhammad,
function.
listen.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay, look. Listen, what you need to give me evidence for is the following. Look, sorry. Let me just tell you what you said. You started off by saying that the imams are mentioned in the Quran. Can you give me the verses?
Okay, let me
Yeah.
First of all, akhi, like I said to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives you revelation, like He says, pray. But He doesn't say how to pray or how many rak'ahs to pray. Do you agree with me or not? Yes, you have to agree.
Well, no, actually, I don't
agree. You have to agree.
No, let me explain.
What do you mean?
Well, you asked me a question.
Okay. Okay, go on.
Some things are mufassal. For example, wudu is mentioned in Surah Al-Nisa.
I'm talking about salah, which is a pillar in Islam.
Hold on.
It is the most important thing in Islam.
You've asked me a question, right?
Let him answer.
Right? Not all the tafasil of prayer are not mentioned in the Quran.
Exactly.
For example, some of the shurut of prayer, istiqbal al-qibla, which is one of the shurut of prayer, which is tahara, which is one of the shurut of prayer. You have also, for example, an-niyyah is alluded to in the Quran. All of these things, and then within the prayer itself, in Surah Al-Rum, you have the times of prayer, like Ibn Abbas, we have.
أقم الصلاة دلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر كان مشهودا.
لا, that's Surah Al-Isra. That's Surah Al-Isra. Okay, please don't mix the Quran. That's Surah Al-Isra.
It says 3 times to pray. It doesn't say 5 times.
No, hold on. This is Surah we're talking about.
Does the Quran say pray 3 times or 5 times?
No, it doesn't say pray 3 times. No, hold on.
أقم الصلاة دلوك الشمس وإلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر 3 times. Why are you saying 5?
Calm down. That's Surah Al-Isra.
I know, but it says 3. You don't say 5.
Akhi, Habibi, please. We have another surah, which is Surah Al-Rum, chapter 30 of the Quran. Okay, very good. But then you have a part of the وَحِينَ تُظْهِرُونَ. This part here, for example, it says when you do dhuhur, which is the dhuhr times. So Ibn Abbas we have of these particular verses, he says that, okay, you have this is a reference to this time and this is a reference to that time. So there are implicit references to how to pray within the prayer, the shurut of the prayer, some of the arkan of the prayer. For example, where in the Quran it says وَكُونُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. For example, it's mentioned in the Quran that الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقَعُودًا. So some of the arkan of the prayers, are mentioned in the Quran. So it's not fair to say that all of the things pertaining to the prayer are left out of the Quran. There are some things which are in and some things which are out. No problem. But here's the issue. We're saying with usul ad-din, here's the argument. You haven't heard the argument first. Let me put the argument to you. Usul ad-din are the aqidah elements, the creedal elements. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says when He says in the Quran, مَا فَرَّطْنَا فِي الْكِتَابِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. We haven't left anything out of the Quran. We believe this means mujmalan, which means the generalities of creed are mentioned in the Quran. So why is it the case that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, listen, let's be fair with each other, please, brother, yeah? Why is it the case that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would mention nubuwah, would mention risala, would mention akhirah, would mention tawheed?
الله اصطفى آدم ونوح على العالمين.
Just stop shouting. We're having a civil conversation. You don't just stop. Okay, hold on. That means nothing. That means
محمد علي.
طيب, sorry. That means
so many
nothing.
verses.
Okay.
Only inherited.
It's so many verses.
I understand. Listen, I'm looking for something qat'i, explicit, which simply says that those imams, it's an asl min usul ad-din, as al-amili and other of your scholars say that if you don't believe in it, you will kafir. Asl min usul ad-din, that I have to believe in and I have to do it in other words to be a Muslim. Allah mentions everything. Akhirah, qiyamah.
Okay, brother.
All the prophets. He even mentions non-prophets, but he doesn't mention your imams.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوح وآل عمران ومن بعد على العالمين ذريتهم
بعدها من بعد.
You understand my point?
You understand?
Yeah. So where's Ali there?
He's from Ali Ibrahim. He's from Ali Ibrahim. And Allah has chosen them.
بعضها من بعض. ذريتهم بعضها من بعض.
Abu Jahl is a kafir. He's a kafir.
No problem. We accept that.
Okay.
Where does it say that they're infallible?
Muhammad, I'll be honest with you.
وأنت سليمان
I like you.
What's that got to do with anything?
Muhammad, son.
Alright, so what?
Okay.
And Muhammad passed it to Ali.
He's not his son.
Let me say.
Come on. No, it's قياس مع الفارق. He's not his son. Go ahead.
Muhammad,
It's called الوصية.
No,
I listened to you for a while. I'm going to have to talk as well.
Yep.
Regarding you said the prayers mentioned in the Quran, there's shuyukh, I've told you, if from what you're saying about how it's mentioned, that does no way come near to tell you how to pray. I'm going to tell you why. Because you've said, for example, there's so many things. Surah Al-Fatiha, Takbir, Ruku', Sujood, Qiyam. You know, it's not mentioned in the Quran. You have to be fair, bro.
Well,
you can't say,
I've just mentioned to you.
What you've mentioned, I can mention as well so many verses about the Imams.
Anyways, I don't care. Look, it's not an
I don't care, akhi.
No,
What do you mean I don't
ابتداء
It's the foundation of religion. It's the foundation of religion.
Muhammad, ابتداء.
Salah is the foundation of religion, yes?
ابتداء.
Salah foundation.
Can I answer your
But
question?
is Salah foundation of religion?
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not Sunni for you?
No, it's not. No, of course not. It's not.
It's not for them.
It's not for you either.
For me, the most, the first one. Mohammed Hijab.
Let's fight. No,
Listen to me. This guy, he's just blubbing.
No, what do you mean blubbing?
The first pillar of Islam is الولاية. لم ينادي بشيء مثل ما نادى بالولاية.
According to you.
According to جعفر الصادق, Imam جعفر الصادق. Imam جعفر الصادق, who's Imam جعفر الصادق? Imam جعفر الصادق, he's born 17 ربيع الأول 83 هجري. بتوفى 25 شوال 148 هجري. This is the Imam, my Imam.
And my Imam as well. I love him for the sake of Allah. I think he's a good man. However, the problem is this. I don't put him to the pedestal of a level of a Nabi. I don't think Ja'far as-Sadiq is on the level of Ibrahim. And if he was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have told me about that.
So basically, let's see what Mohammed Hijab says. Mohammed Hijab said, because Muhammad,
what's your evidence that he's there?
Mentioned the Quran.
Okay, let me see.
But Ibn Kathir is not mentioned the Quran.
Yeah, exactly.
Al-Qurtubi is not mentioned the Quran.
Absolutely.
But you take the references.
No, I take it as supplementary, but they're mukhti'in.
Muhammad, let me say some verses.
كل إنسان يؤخذ منه يرد عليه.
Don't interrupt me, Muhammad.
Yeah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Yeah.
إنما وليكم الله ورسوله الذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. That's one. وجعلناهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا.
So they have it.
I'm going to bring you 50 verses
calm down.
that talk about the Imams.
No,
50.
okay.
Would you accept them?
Hold on. No,
50 verses.
There's actually, by the way, the word Imam is not mentioned in the Quran more than 12 times or 15 times or whatever.
No, but I'm going to bring you other
20 times
verses.
or whatever.
I know. So you said 12 times it's mentioned.
I don't know, 12, 15, 20 or something.
I'm going to bring you more verses.
Muhammad,
talk about Ahl
Bayt. Let me say one point. Mohammed Hijab. والله حتى نسيت أعوذ بالله
من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
What I'm trying to say,
Akhi, what I want to say to you is that you have been tricked by your scholars, and they have hidden the truth from you, and they have hidden the facts that when the Prophet lifted Imam Ali's hand in the day of Ghadir, and he said, whoever I am his master, Ali is his master, 120,000 Muhajirin and Ansar heard him, and then when the time came for Bay'ah, the Imam Ali said, if Hamza and Ja'far was with me, I wouldn't even give
What's the problem? I don't disagree with that.
You don't disagree with that?
No.
That means you agree that Imam Ali
so he says,
was chosen by the Prophet. Alhamdulillah.
I agree with that.
Mawla means he will say as a friend.
No, I don't. Look, even if let's go with master, no problem. I don't care. Whatever you want, ally. Mawla means ally in my estimation. So let's say, Salim, how you doing? You right? You good, yeah? Inshallah, you're right. Let's go with Mawla. No problem.
واسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون. Who is أهل الذكر? It is أهل البيت عليهم السلام. It is the 12 Imams. For you أهل الذكر is the Christians and the Jews. And this is nonsense.
No, but don't tell me what I believe.
No, I'm saying
you can ask me.
Stop, wait. You mentioned a good point. You said أهل الذكر. That's Surah Al-Nahl. What's Mohammed Hijab?
Sorry, let me just say it one voice at a time.
What's your interpretation of اسألوا أهل الذكر in Surah Al-Nahl?
It's not only in Surah Al-Nahl, it's also in Surah Al-Anbiya. What's the verse after it and before it, please?
Surah Al-Nahl, right?
No. Go to Anbiya because you talked about Nahl. I want to test you're mentioning verses and you say you know memorize everything. What's the verse before? فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. لا, go ahead.
The first
before and after, yeah.
Of Surah Al-Nahl.
لا. Let's go.
فَأَمِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَروا أَن يَخْسِفَ الله بهم الأرض أو يأخذهم في تقلبهم فما هم بمعجزين.
Surah Al-Anbiya.
أو يأخذهم على
Surah Al-Anbiya.
أو يأخذهم على تخوف فما هم بمعجزين.
The Prophet Muhammad says,
السفياني بالبيداء.
Oh Ali, you are to me like Harun was to Moses, but there is no prophet after me. Who was the greatest man after Moses? Answer me this question.
Say again?
Who was the greatest man after Moses in that time?
So we believe.
It was Harun, right? The greatest
Calm
man.
down, man. أخي.
Let me talk. The greatest man after the Prophet
So what's your
according to this hadith. One second, let me finish. Go on.
Muhammad, listen carefully. Listen
Brother,
carefully.
please don't
The thing that people are not.
No, there's too many people talking. There's too many people talking.
دعه يتكلم.
Not everyone.
دعه يتكلم. Listen to me carefully, brother. Yeah? What this boils down to are two things. Okay, let me just make it easy for everyone, right? Number one, our definition of Iman. Number two, the evidence for that. That's it. Okay? Now, if I say I'm going to say what I think your definition of Imam is. If you agree with it, no problem. All we have to do is find the evidence. That's it. Yeah? Then I can agree with you.
The max I can do to you, brother.
Habibi, just come on.
I can copy-paste it to you from the books.
Akhi Muhammad, yeah?
Okay, bro.
Just give me a second.
Complete, sorry.
So my understanding is that your understanding of Imam is that you have 12 men. 12. خليني أخلص.
كمل.
You have 12 men. You have 12 men who are infallible, which means they have isma. Yes?
What does
isma. They don't make sins.
I never read that about them. But I read their imams.
Akhi, sorry, Akhi. Your definition of
Obligatory imams.
let me finish.
I will just tell you something, please. Can you ask them?
Yeah.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله
وأطيعوا الرسول
وأولي الأمر منكم. Who is أولي الأمر? أهل البيت عليهم السلام. أهل البيت عليهم السلام.
You can't conduct yourself.
He's the one. That's your guy. That's your guy.
You can't conduct yourself.
Brother, this is your guy. This is your guy.
If you don't continue, if you continue shouting, I'm going to leave.
I called the police. Don't insult me.
Who insulted you? Hey, the cameras are here. Did anyone insult him? Did I insult him?
This is a free
Muhammad,
I didn't do nothing.
Muhammad, please keep yourself calm. There's no need for this, yeah? Let me finish this with you right now, yeah? I'll take 2 minutes of your time. According to my understanding, if you deny this, then we can't proceed because then you're doing taqiyya, in my opinion. An imam for you are 12 individuals. No, don't laugh. Let's be serious.
You're going to be taqiyya yourself.
Well, let me ask you a question. There are 12 people, men, who have isma, which means they don't commit sin. They have knowledge, they have ilmul ghaib, and they also are higher than all of the prophets except for Prophet Muhammad. Is this your understanding of imams?
Astaghfirullah, that's not my understanding of imams.
Okay, so what is your
understanding? But not mine.
So what's your fine? What's your understanding?
My understanding of the imams is that they taught me 5 pillars. They taught me wilaya. They told me salat.
Yes.
They told me zakat.
Yes.
They told me the most important thing they told me is al-wilaya.
Allahu Akbar. Welcome to Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Welcome to خلاص. So you reject him?
Brother, that's not what
I don't reject him, brother. I reject myself.
Would the Prophet leave the Ummah? Would the Prophet leave the Ummah without a successor? Would the Prophet leave the Ummah?
We don't believe he did that. We don't believe he did that. Akhi, the successor and imam are two different things. Don't convolute things. Akhi, Habibi, listen to me carefully. I know you grew up in a Shia household and you haven't this deep. No problem. I know you. Listen, I understand. But let me tell you something, Muhammad. Let me just finish with him, please. I'll just finish. Habibi, listen. Habibi, listen to me, yeah? أخي أعطيني ثانية يعني. أعطيني دقيقة واحدة.
I got your point. I got it. I just ignored it.
Listen, bro. Your understanding is not this. Look, what he just said there is very nice, yeah? That they taught 5.
What they taught me.
No, خلاص حبيبي. والله, let me tell you something. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, al-Baqir, all of those individuals that you call imams, al-Hasan, Taban, al-Hussein, and all of those, we consider them good people. Okay? Listen carefully. We consider them good people. We consider them mu'allimeen, ulama.
Have you memorized the hadith of them?
Wait,
listen, come akhi, let's start with memorizing the Quran properly first, yeah?
Just one hadith enough.
Yalla, Habibi, listen. What I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you is simple. We don't dismiss them. We don't oppose them. In fact, we take their ilm.
You don't like
Abu Hanifa, one of our great scholars. Habibi, akhi, come on. Abu Hanifa, one of our greatest scholars of all time, yes, who some say was a tabi'i as well. He took knowledge from Ja'far al-Sadiq, yeah? So we accept the Imams as men. We don't accept them as infallible. Do you know why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran about أخي حبيبي ممكن عشان listen. The Quran says about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and according to you he's an Imam. قل ما كنت بدعا من الرسل وما كنت أدري ما يفعل بي ولا بكم. Listen, what does that mean? It means I wasn't an innovation from the prophets, and I don't know what's going to happen to me or you. ما كنت أدري ما يفعل بي ولا بكم. And in another surah he says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran about Prophet Muhammad, ولو كنت أعلم الغيب لاستكثرت من الخير وما مسني السوء. If I knew the ghaib, listen to me. But that's something else. That's fine. But the point I'm making here, akhi, the Quran is clear. Habibi, please. The Quran is clear. The Quran says that people don't know all of knowledge. The only one who knows all of knowledge is Allah.
Of course.
So now, this idea that they have علم الغيب ألف لام الغيب.
Only when Allah إلا من يشاء الله.
طبعا.
Only when Allah wants
يؤتي الحكمة من يشاء. يؤتي الحكمة من
أخي
يشاء.
اخفض صوتك.
يؤتي الحكمة من
Some
يشاء.
cases he came like with Jesus. He gave him that.
جماعة اسمع حبيبي اسمع. If you say only when Allah wills He'll give knowledge, then me and the Imam are the same, because Allah gives me knowledge. ولا يحيطون بشيء